Welcome to my channel Worth Old Coins, today's best top 5 coins. Please don't skip this video. So let's get it started. Top 1. The 2003 Australia 5-cent coin stamped with the familiar profile of Queen Elizabeth II is a tiny yet enduring piece of everyday history, quietly linking modern Australia to centuries of tradition and the unique beauty of its native wildlife. On the obverse head side, you'll find the fourth official portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, sculpted by British artist Ian Rank Broadley and introduced on Australian coins in 1999. Known for its realism and unflinching detail, this portrait shows the Queen facing right wearing the elegant Girls of Great Britain and Ireland tiara. Unlike earlier, softer designs, the Rank Broadley portrait presents the Queen with greater maturity, gently acknowledging the passing of time during her long reign, while still conveying strength and dignity. Around the portrait is the simple legend Elizabeth to Australia 2003, clearly marking the monarch nation and year of minting. And the reverse side is one of Australia's most beloved and iconic designs, the echidna, or spiny anteater, captured in exquisite detail by Australian designer Stuart Devlin, the same artist who shaped nearly all of Australia's decimal coin reverse designs when they were introduced in 1966. The echidna is shown curled protectively around itself, its spines radiating outward like a natural crown with its distinctive pointed snout extending forward. Below this image sits the large numeral 5, indicating the coin's denomination in the simplest possible style. Technically, the 2003 5-cent coin is made from copper-nickel alloy, 75%. Copper, 25% nickel, giving it a silver-gray tone that is resistant to corrosion. It weighs about 283 grams, has a diameter of 19.41 millimeters, and features a plain, smooth edge. Though small in size, it is a familiar sight in wallets and cash registers across Australia. This coin was struck by the Royal Australian Mint in Canberra as part of the standard circulating series and produced in large quantities, so it isn't considered rare in circulated condition. Historically, 2003 is part of the first decade in which the Rank Broadley portrait was used on Australian coinage following the transition from the earlier Raphael Makhlouf portrait used from 1985 to 1998. The update reflected a modern approach to royal portraiture, more lifelike and less idealized, subtly acknowledging the passing years during Elizabeth II's record-setting reign. For collectors, the 2003 5-cent coin often finds its place in year sets, and it helps complete the long timeline of Australian decimal coinage that began in 1966. Though not a commemorative year for the 5-cent piece, it remains significant as part of the everyday story of a country where even the smallest coin carries cultural meaning. K-metal and minting the 2003 Australia 5-cent coin quietly connects 3 stories. The continuity of constitutional monarchy, represented by the precise ruby. Ruby kiss, ruby kiss, only ruby kiss. Only ruby kiss has the luxurious texture that glides on. We have saw, long-lasting color. We have saw, long-lasting color. We have saw, my cellar. We have saw, my celony saw weed as alec. We have saw my levies. Data lef. By premise, K-tie with, POS and idea with a card. The misal is it, kakadi psychosic sit to sa suquit ga uslet sits kakaktaslet to the psicosisate to contasit to the ga isakikavesit. Queen's portrait, the celebration of Australia's unique and ancient wildlife through the echidna and the daily life of millions of Australians who spend, save, and handle it without always seeing the subtle history it holds, whether sitting in a collector's folder or resting unnoticed in a handful of spare change. It is a small, circulating link between Australia's past, present, and identity. Top 2. The 1994 Australia 5-cent coin, bearing the familiar portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, is a small but fascinating piece of Australian numismatic history, a practical, everyday coin that at the same time quietly links a modern nation to centuries of royal tradition and national identity. On the obverse head side, the coin features the third portrait of Queen Elizabeth II used in Australia. Designed by British sculptor Raphael McClove, introduced in 1985, this elegant portrait shows the Queen wearing the royal diadem, a detailed crown of diamonds and pearls, and facing right with soft, realistic details in her hair and expression that balance dignity with approachability. Around the portrait is the simple inscription, Elizabeth to Australia. 1994, connecting the coin to both monarch and nation. On the reverse tail side is one of Australia's most distinctive and beloved small animal designs, the echidna, also known as the spiny anteater, designed by Stuart Devlin, who crafted many of Australia's circulating decimal coin designs introduced in 1966. This charming image shows the echidna curled protectively around its spines, with its long snout extending forward. The animal, unique to Australia, quietly symbolizes the country's rich and ancient wildlife heritage. Below the echidna is the numeral 5, denoting the denomination, and no other inscription, a minimalist design choice that keeps the focus on the artwork itself. Technically, the 1994 5-cent coin is made of copper nickel alloy, 75% copper and 25% nickel, giving it a silver-gray color. It weighs 283 grams, measures 19.41 millimeters in diameter, and has a plain, smooth edge. Though small and lightweight, the coin is instantly recognizable to millions of Australians, and its design has remained unchanged since Australia adopted decimal currency in 1966. Historically, the year 1994 was not a commemorative year for the 5-cent piece, so the coin was issued only in its regular design for everyday use. It was produced in large numbers at the Royal Australian Mint in Canberra, which means it is not rare in circulated condition, yet for collectors, the coin still holds quiet value as part of assembling a full set by year, or as part of studying the evolution of the Queen's portrait on Australian coinage beyond its metal and numbers. The 1994 Australia 5-cent coin is a small object that travels daily in pockets and purses, but carries a much bigger story, a symbol of national sovereignty, a tribute to unique Australian wildlife, and a living link to the reign of Queen Elizabeth II, whose image appeared on Australian coins for over 6 decades until her passing in 2022. Whether kept in a collector's folder, found in a desk drawer, or spent at a corner shop, it remains a small circulating piece of history that continues to quietly tell Australia's story. Top 3. The 2014 Australia 5-cent coin, bearing the regal profile of Queen Elizabeth II, is one of the smallest coins in Australia's circulating currency, yet it quietly embodies decades of design, tradition, national identity, and royal history. On the obverse head side, the coin features the 4th official portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, created by British sculptor Ian Rank Broadley and introduced to Australian coins in 1999. This portrait, often praised for its realism, shows the Queen facing right and wearing the girls of Great Britain and Ireland tiara with noticeably deeper lines and sharper contours that reflect her mature years and reign with quiet dignity surrounding the portrait are the words Elizabeth to Australia 201 for linking the monarch, the country, and the year the coin was struck, the reverse side unchanged since decimalization in 1966, features the distinctive image of an echidna, a unique Australian mammal covered in spines and equipped with a long snout. Designed by celebrated Australian goldsmith and coin designer Stuart Devlin, this compact yet detailed image captures the echidna curled protectively around itself with the numeral 5 below to show its denomination. The design has become so iconic that it's instantly recognized by Australians of all ages and often sparks quiet national affection despite the coin's modest face value. Technically, the 2014 5-cent coin is made from copper nickel, 75% copper, 25% nickel, giving it a durable silver-gray appearance. It weighs about 2.83 grams, measures 19.41 millimeters in diameter, and has a plain, smooth edge, tiny yet easily distinguishable by touch. These coins were struck at the Royal Australian Mint in Canberra, part of the standard circulating series, and produced in large quantities for daily transactions, so they aren't rare in circulated condition. Historically, 2014 itself wasn't marked by a special circulating commemorative design for the 5-cent piece. But the coin still holds significance as part of the long era when Queen Elizabeth II's image appeared on Australian money, a reign that lasted until her passing in 2022, marking the longest continuous portrait series in Australia's history. For collectors, the 2014 issue is part of the broader fascination with assembling complete year sets, observing subtle changes in minting quality, portrait details, or die variations that can occur even in common coins and beyond its metal weight and year. This humble coin still carries a quiet message. It links a modern nation's unique wildlife and cultural identity, symbolized by the echidna, with the constitutional heritage and stability reflected in the monarch's portrait. Ultimately, whether found in a child's pocket money, a collector's album, or spare change at a petrol station, the 2014 Australia 5-cent coin remains a small but durable piece of Australia's living history, bridging tradition, design, and everyday life in a way only coins truly can. Top 4. The 2012 UK 5-pence coin, bearing the portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, may be small in size and value, but it's a fascinating piece of modern British numismatics, a coin that connects daily life with heritage, monarchy, and national symbols. On the obverse head side, the coin features the 4th definitive portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, designed by sculptor Ian Rank Broadley and introduced in 1998. This portrait, known for its realism, shows the Queen facing right, crowned with the girls of Great Britain and Ireland tiara. Rank Broadley's design is notable for its honesty. The Queen is depicted as she truly appeared in her mature years, with clear natural detail rather than an idealized, youthful image. Around the portrait is the familiar inscription, Elizabeth II DG Reg, FD 2012, which stands for De Gratia, Regina Fidei, Defensor. Latin for By the Grace of God Queen. Defender of the Faith. The reverse side features part of a larger and very modern design introduced in 2008. It shows the lower section of the Royal Shield of Arms. When placed together with other UK coins of 1p, 2p, 5p, 10p, 2op, and 50p denominations, these reverse designs combine, like puzzle pieces, to reveal the full shield, a concept created by designer Matthew Dent. On the 5-pence coin, you see the meeting point of the Lion of England and the Harp of Ireland, both of which are traditional symbols from the royal arms. This clever design celebrates the unity of the United Kingdom while giving each coin a distinctive modern look. Technically, the 2012 5-pence coin is made of nickel-plated steel, a composition adopted in 2011. To reduce minting costs, earlier coins were cupronickel. The coin weighs about 3.25 grams, measures 18.0 millimeters in diameter, and has a milled reeded edge for tactile recognition, produced by the Royal Mint. These coins were struck in large quantities for everyday use, so they're very common in circulation. The year 2012 itself was significant in British history, as it marked the Diamond Jubilee, 60 years of Queen Elizabeth II's reign. While the standard circulating 5-pence design didn't change, collectors could also find special commemorative coins in other denominations that year celebrating the Jubilee. For collectors, the 2012 5-pence isn't rare by itself, but it remains part of an interesting modern series, especially for those who enjoy assembling the full Royal Shield puzzle set across the different denominations. It's also a snapshot of the Queen's long reign, connecting millions of everyday transactions. to a monarchy that had already spanned 6 decades by that year. Ultimately, the 2012 5-pence coin is more than just a small, silver-colored disc. It's a quietly elegant blend of tradition and modern design, a symbol of national identity and everyday life, and a tiny piece of history that continues to pass silently from hand to hand across the UK. Top 5. The 2008 Australia 5-cent coin, stamped with a familiar profile of Queen Elizabeth II, is one of the smallest denominations in Australia's decimal currency system, yet it quietly carries a story of tradition, national identity, and subtle artistry that spans continents and decades. On the obverse head side, the coin features the 4th official portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, created by British sculptor Ian Rank, broadly and introduced to Australian coins in 1999. This portrait is noted for its honest realism. It shows the Queen facing right, wearing the girls of Great Britain and Ireland tiara with visible lines and natural details that acknowledge her mature years rather than presenting an idealized version of youth. Around the portrait are the inscriptions Elizabeth II Australia 2008, quietly connecting the monarch, the nation, and the date the coin was struck. On the reverse side is one of Australia's most beloved and instantly recognizable designs, the echidna, or spiny anteater, an animal unique to Australia. This design, created by master goldsmith and designer Stuart Devlin for Australia's first decimal coins in 1966, shows the echidna curled protectively around itself, its spines fanned out in a striking circular pattern, and its pointed snout extending forward. Beneath it sits the large numeral 5, denoting the denomination without any words, a simple yet bold choice that has remained unchanged for over half a century. Technically, the 2008 5-cent coin is made from a durable copper-nickel alloy, 75% copper, 25% nickel, giving it a silvery appearance that resists tarnish. It weighs about 283 grams, measures 19.41 millimeters in diameter, and has a plain, smooth edge. These coins were minted in large quantities at the Royal Australian Mint in Canberra for everyday circulation, so they are common and easy to find in change rather than in collectors' cabinets. Historically, 2008 wasn't a commemorative year for the 5-cent denomination, so the design stayed the same, part of a decades-long continuity that reflects the strength of Australia's coin design tradition. The coin quietly marks its place in time within the long reign of Queen Elizabeth II, whose portrait had been on Australian coins since 1953 and would remain there until her passing. In 2022, the Rank Broadley portrait in particular, used from 1999 to 2018, reflected a modern, grounded approach to royal imagery, acknowledging age and experience rather than idealizing youth. Or collectors, the 2008 5-cent coin usually holds value as part of a complete year set or as a piece of the continuous story of Australian decimal coinage, but beyond mintages and metal content, it remains quietly special. It carries a glimpse of Australia's unique wildlife, a symbol of its constitutional monarchy, and a design that Australians of all ages recognize by touch alone. Ultimately, whether it's forgotten at the bottom of a pocket, handed over for a small purchase, or saved in a collection, the 2008 Australia 5-cent coin is more than just currency. It's a miniature piece of living history, a silver gray reminder of a country's natural wonders, its modern democratic identity, and the long reign of a monarch. His image connected generations, all wrapped into a coin barely larger than a thumbnail. Thanks for watching my videos. Please subscribe my channel for more videos.